how to make the perfect pitch, sales secrets. Okay, so you need to sell, but nobody really wants to sell. You don't want to be pushy. That's not what anybody wants to do. In this video, I'm going to show you how to have super low pressure sales pitches that actually work and get you sales, and we're starting right now. Hey, I'm JR Fisher. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Are you brand new? You look a little bit new. If you're new, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go down there and click that subscribe button down there. You still seem a little bit new. Have you clicked it? You gotta go down there and click that subscribe button, and next to it, ring the bell. Ring that bell next to the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on all notifications. That way you are part of the Fisher family, the VIP family that gets notifications about these videos every single time I do them. Now I also have a free e-commerce course. It's a $97 course, but you can get it absolutely free. I put the link in the description down there. You can grab that. So it's click and learn, simple, no credit card needed, really easy stuff. Now I've been selling online since like 2009, and we've sold millions of dollars of both digital and physical products. So I started this channel so that I could show you what works. This channel can help you start, run, and grow your online business. All you got to do is watch some videos. Pretty simple stuff. And our products are actually sold on thousands of websites, including Walmart. So check it out. Let's figure out how to do this low pressure, high conversion pitch to sell your products. You know, creating a good sales pitch, you know, is not easy. I'm not going to tell you it is, but if you follow these 8 simple steps that I'm going to give you in this video, you will be well on your way. Creating a great sales pitch really is the basis of your entire business. Now some people say, well, I don't want to be a salesperson, I hate to sell, I don't like sales. I think a lot of people relate that to lying, and you don't have to lie. What you have to do is craft a really good story, and you have to craft something that actually speaks to somebody's emotions and their pain points and their problems, and lets them know that you can solve those things with your product or service. Now buyers are more savvy nowadays. Matter of fact, when surveyed, 92% of them said that having information online now and being able to research online now really changed their buying habits. It changed what they were buying, who they were buying it from, by doing this research. And when surveyed a little bit further, 67% of the time that they were online they spent researching. So they're doing a lot of research out there. If you have good information, if you have good sales copy, if you have good specifications, if you have testimonials, if you have all these things, it's really going to help sell your product. Now why is the sales pitch still so important? Now this could be an ad copy, this could be in video form, but just because customers show up at your website, just because they come there to look at your products, doesn't mean they're totally educated on you and your products. That's your responsibility to do that. They got there because they had some interest. Now they're waiting for you to sell them, and the best way you're going to sell them is to give them great information and tell the story about your company and your products and how they can benefit. They don't care about you, they don't care about your company, they care about themselves, and they care about how your products are going to help them. What makes a good sales pitch? Well, too many people think it's that cookie cutter type thing, you know, template of how to sell products, and it's really not. And if you've ever gone up against a salesperson who obviously had this, you know, pre-set sales pitch, and you could just feel it, you could feel it washing over your body. You're like, holy crap, I don't want to even listen to this. So that's not what makes a good sales pitch. A good sales pitch is actually knowing your customer and speaking to their needs. A good sales pitch really requires upfront work on your part, and you're not going to need just one sales pitch. You're going to need several sales pitches depending on what you're doing with your customer, what your customer says, what their needs are. And if you can't respond to all those needs, you're going to lose sales. So with that having been said, let me go through these 8 tips that are going to help you set up this perfect sales pitch. Number 1, prioritize the accounts that you are pitching. So you're going to have a variety of customers that are going to come to your site or watch your VSLs or whatever, and you're going to need different sales pitches based on that. You're going to have, like, we have customers that will buy my $27 a month training, and then I have customers that, you know, pay a couple $1,000s an hour to have coaching. Those are 2 entirely different customers, and if you don't prioritize, if you don't figure out what you're selling to or how you're selling to these people, you're going to miss sales. Number two, do your research. Okay, there's nothing worse than a salesperson who really hasn't done their research. They don't know about their product, they don't know about the customer, they don't know anything, and it's really important that you do that. And I think of some examples. I think of timeshare. I'm thinking those people must really do some research, because when somebody buys a timeshare, you can't tell me how much you're going to pay for it, because they have these maintenance fees, and you can't tell me when it's going to end, because it goes on forever. So for you to sell a product like this to somebody, it's just amazing that people buy the product. But those are some good salespeople, because they get into the people's personal lives, they get into, you know, having them come down there on a vacation, they get into them spending time with them. They know all the components it takes to sell somebody something that just really is not worth the amount that they're paying for it, because they'll never pay it off ever. It's never going to be paid off. Number three, this is huge, account for all decision makers. This is super important. Now, you obviously can't do this if they're just coming to your web page and looking at your products, but if you're doing a one-on-one presentation, if you're on the phone, maybe selling your coaching services or whatever services you have, the very first question I always ask people is that, you know, are all decision makers on the call? And before I even set up the appointment, I will make them click or write into a box that all decision makers will be on an appointment, because nothing's worse. I mean, nothing is worse than you going through a 2-hour presentation or a 30-minute presentation, and then at the end they go, well, I need to check with my husband, I need to check with my wife. So the thing to do is ask this up front. Now, some salespeople don't want to ask this. They don't want to ask because they're afraid that the person's going to say, yeah, I got to check with my husband or wife, and they don't want to hear that. They think that if they're convincing enough at the end, that person will make the decision. Not true. It's not going to happen. If you don't have all the decision makers there, you're not going to close the deal. So it's really important that you have them there. So what do? If you ask somebody on a call, you say, well, hey, I've got this neat widget that I want to sell you. Are all the decision makers there? And they say, no, they're not. I would need to speak to my wife first. I need to speak to my husband first. What do you do at that point? You say, great, sounds good. I just want to make sure all decision makers are here. Let's set a time that you both can be here, and that way we can talk again and I can go through the presentation. I don't waste my time. I wouldn't waste my time on that presentation. There's no point, because they can't make a decision. Why waste your time? Number four, paint a vision of the future. So when I'm talking to somebody about maybe personal coaching or something along those lines, some of the questions I may ask them are, how much money do you want to make? You know, how much do you want to make? 10,000 a month? You want to make 20,000 a month? What is the amount of money you want to make? And then once we do that, I say, okay, if you were making that money a year from now, you know, if you were making $10,000 a month, how would that make you feel, and what would you do? You know, this is the future pacing. They say, well, I'd like to go on a vacation. I say, great, what vacation would you take? They say, well, I want to go to Europe. I said, great, where in Europe would you go? And they would tell me, and I'd say, what would you do when you got there? So you have to paint these pictures in their mind so that they understand what they're really working towards. And it'll also help them achieve their goals that much faster too, and want to buy your product. Number five, share your information. And here's what I mean by that. A sales presentation shouldn't just be a sales presentation. If I'm talking to somebody on the phone about coaching services or something along those lines, I always let them know. I say, hey, this is going to be a good call no matter what, because at the end of the call, I'm going to make sure that you get the information you need to move forward. Whether we work together or not, whether you hire me or not, I want to make sure that you get the information that you need. And if I can't provide you what you need, I'm not going to take you on as a coaching client, but I will point you in the direction that you need to go to get that information. And then throughout that call, I'm going to give them good content that they can use. Maybe we'll analyze their website, maybe we'll look at their products, maybe we'll look at some copy that they have. And prior to that call, I will have already pulled all this information over. I went over and looked at their ads, I looked at their website, I looked at what they were doing, so that I had good information and I was prepared for that call. You've got to be prepared. I can't emphasize this enough. If you're not prepared, you're not going to sell them. Number six, know how to overcome common sales objections. Now, there's just some basic ones, guys. I mean, they're just always going to be there. Things like, I want to think about it, or, you know, the price is too high. These things, you know, are so common, but if you bring them up in the beginning, okay, you bring these things up and handle them in the beginning, you won't have these problems. So if I'm doing a call for coaching, right up front, I'm going to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, I want to work with you. I think, you know, we'll find out in the end, we're going to do a little bit of talking here, but I do want to let you know I only do one of these, you know, blueprint calls. So if we decide decide not to work together today, I won't work with you later on. And I don't want to be in a situation where you say, hey, I want to think about it. I mean, I want to be able to give you all the information you need. So I just want to make sure you will be able to make a decision at the end of this call today. Is that correct? And I ask them and I wait. And if they don't say they can make a decision today, I don't do the presentation, because what's the point? If they can't make a decision, I know they're going to say, well, I need to check with somebody, I need to put it off, I need to wait a day. I tell them up front, this will be the one and only phone call we'll ever make, or Skype call we'll ever make, unless we decide to work together. But it won't be, hey, I'm going to listen to what you got to say, and then maybe 3 months I'll do it. I never do that. I tell them I will not take them on as a client at that point, and I never do, and I never have. Number 7, listen to understand, not just reply. Too many salespeople have all these little canned things they're going to say after somebody says something, but I want to understand. I want to know what they want, what they want to do, what they want to achieve, because if you ask these questions and you're not the right person for them, okay, if I get somebody on a call and they're talking to me about they want to promote their radio show, and I need to know a lot about radio shows. I don't know anything about radio shows. I can do promotions, I can do sales, but I don't know anything about radio shows, so I probably wouldn't be able to help that person out. But if it's something I know about, e-commerce, or speaking, or whatever it is, I know about those things and I can help those people out. So make sure you're really understanding your customer. Sometimes you got to tell them no. Number 8, make sure you outline the options for the next step. So a lot of people will get down to the end of their presentation and they just wait. They don't know what to do. They're not saying anything, and the other person's not saying anything, so they're afraid. So what you need to do is you need to ask a question that's going to get a commitment either way. So I may say, do you want to do the monthly payments of $997 for the coaching, or would you rather do the one-time pay of $9,000? Which one would be more convenient for you? And then I just shut up. I don't say another word. Sometimes there's a long pause there. It's a very long pause, but either way they answer, it's a buy decision, because I've given them 2 buy decisions. Now that doesn't mean that every single person's going to buy that I asked that of, but a lot of them do. A lot of them will say, hey, that's a pretty good deal, I think I'll do the 9,000 cash one. And when I first started doing that, I said, wow, people will spend a lot of money, but they get good results, and that's what they're paying for. Okay, so that's my 8 tips on how you can do a better sales presentation. I want to give you a bonus, Jim. I always want to give you something a little extra. I want you to consider who you're talking to. Are you talking to a person who stays home and doesn't work? Are you talking to a CMO, a vice president? Are you talking to somebody just starting a business? If you understand who that person is and you understand what their daily life is like, you're going to be better able to present to these people. So understand their background. It's not unheard of for me to go to somebody's Facebook profile and find out the kind of stuff they're posting. Are they into fishing? Are they into hunting? Do they like sports? And I can bring up some of those subjects throughout the call. The more common ground you have with that person, the better off you are. Now, don't make up stuff, but if I look online and I find somebody who lives in Memphis, Tennessee, and I know I went to high school in Memphis, Tennessee, I may bring that up, and that's been many years ago, but it's common ground that we could talk about. If I find out that they're into windsurfing, I like windsurfing, so I may talk about windsurfing. If I find out they've got a dog, my wife does some animal rescue and she does dog training, I may talk about that. If you want a great course on dog training, I'll throw that down there too in the description area. It's a great course on dog training my wife has. If you have a dog, check it out. Totally unrelated to this video, but I'll give her a little plug and promotion there. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Now I want to hear your comments too. What have you found that worked in sales for you? If you would put that in the comment section. What have you found that didn't work so well for you? Put that in the comment section too. I want to hear about that. Or if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to do that. Now, as I told you, I have a $97 e-commerce course that is absolutely free. You can grab it in the description. All you got to do is click and learn. It's super easy. If you haven't subscribed yet, shame on you. Come on, you got to subscribe. Hit that button down there. Hit the bell. The bell is your notifications, and if you hit it, I can notify you. That's how it works. But you have to turn on all notifications. When you click the bell, you're going to hear this. and then a little menu is going to pop up and it's going to say turn on all notifications. That's the one you want. That's the one you want. That's the one you want to check out, because then you become part of the Fisher family, the VIPs who get notified before anybody else when the video goes up. That's pretty cool, right? You want to be that. Check it out. Thanks for listening to the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.